Vancouver. Some troubles are brewing. It seems like trouble always brews in Vancouver, unless it's Age of Empires 4, where things are going swimmingly. But Star
2019.
Wars. Okay, so this saga, the Star Wars saga, as far as I can tell, I'm wrong. Correct me where I'm wrong. So this is Amy Hennig's game, in theory, that she was making creative director for Uncharted. That was kind of Star Wars Uncharted-y. Then that game was canceled. Amy left EA. Then at that point, the project was fully moved over. Who was just a support studio before, fully moved over to EA Vancouver to kind of adapt into an open world/worlds game. Now, Kotaku reports that that is dead.
Right. So it was moved over to EA Motive, who then bought space in Vancouver's offices, and then the two studios melded together.
Okay.
So technically, it is an EA Motive project, which I only mentioned because Jade Raymond used to be in charge of the project, and then she left recently, which might have been like a portend to this.
Right.
But yeah, EA has officially canceled the project. They made a statement today about it. That the open world game wasn't, I guess I forget exactly what they said. It was just that it wasn't driving with their current goals. And the Kotaku story, Jason Schreier reported it, that it's not anything of like, well, it wasn't coming together or anything like that. It was just they wanted a game sooner than 2021, 2022, which is where this game was heading. So they're working on a Star Wars game, or theoretically another game now that was going to hit in 2020.
Okay, so rushing another Star Wars game out the door does not seem like a great idea for EA in general. But I guess that's the confusing thing, is like they had a more focused linear game, more linear at least in theory, with whatever Amy Hennig's project was, right? Really playing as a scoundrel and all this stuff. And then the idea like, well, let's make an open world game. Oh, it's taking longer. What the hell? It's like, well, yeah, of course. Not that the first
we're never going to know
cake.
why they canceled that game, but their reasoning at the time, or the supposed reasoning at the time, was they wanted something people will come back to year after year and spend a lot more money on.
Right.
So like the single player, like Uncharted style game is just you buy it $60 and you're done.
So now, in theory, we're going to have a game that's probably, again, going to be built somewhat off the tech here of whatever this thing was. So just a smaller but still open Star Wars game that, in theory, we'll be coming back to and spending money on.
Theoretically, who knows really what they're going to... Like, it might not even be Star Wars. Like, EA has not shown a huge propensity to want to do more Star Wars.
Well...
It's the strangest thing.
Well, I'm sure they want to do it, but it turns out game development's hard, and game development under EA is notoriously difficult.
There's this strange thing where, like, I understand what EA wants. They want a game that people continue to play, right? But I think what all players want is just a good single-player experience of some kind.
Which is why the anomaly is Respawn's game.
Yeah.
Jedi Fallen Order, which take place between episode 3 and 4, and in theory is coming out in 2019, because it is that thing of like, are we not hearing about their project just because it's going well, and it is just that single-player game we want? What do you think about that?
I mean, there was a thing, I think it was an EA investors call not too long ago. They were saying several Respawn games are coming out this year. So I assume Jedi Fallen Order is going to be one of them.
Yeah.
But that actually might be their Uncharted-style game. Not like in terms of gameplay mechanics, but in terms of we're spending a lot of money for a prestige title.
Yeah.
So maybe they only need one of those.
I would love for that to be it. And that would honestly, like, I could almost understand that reasoning of like, well, we don't need two of these, like two single-player Star Wars campaigns. I would love two single-player Star Wars campaign games. I would take them both, but from a business perspective,
Yeah, I think the idea of Respawn developing just a fully single-player, story-focused Star Wars game, I don't know, maybe I'm just a cynic in my old age in the industry at this point. There's no way that's going to happen. Something's going to go wrong, and I don't know what lightning rod the community will strike. There's got to be something wrong with that game. Imran, if you had to predict what people are going to just hate about that game, what do you think it is?
I could see it having no single-player component. I could see it being like Titanfall, of just like, here's the campaign that's just the multiplayer maps, and somebody like Yoda talking to you while you're doing it.
Cool.
I mean, that's a stretch. But have they said anything about single-player versus multiplayer? I guess they haven't, have they?
They've not said anything about the game at all. They said it's a Jedi thing, it's a dark story, and it's coming out in 2019.
And God of War 3 director is behind it.
Right.
Which is kind of where it's him being there that we're kind of like, oh, single player, hopefully, right? Because, I mean, his thing that he's known for predominantly is God of War 3.
Right.
So.
And also, this is maybe too dorky to read into, but if we're going between episodes 3 and 4, multiplayer might be tough because there's not going to be that many Jedi around. If it's all focusing on Jedi, then in theory you want it to be even, on both sides of the fence there.
Is that where Force Unleashed took place? Wasn't that between 3 and 4?
Yeah.
Pretty sure it was.
Yeah.
Force Unleashed 3?
I think
Well, they've already
so.
said what the title is, so we
Yeah.
know it's not that.
Jedi
but maybe
Fallen
it's
Order.
kind of like, that style of game.
And also on the lore front, I don't know. I don't need any more stories crammed in between 3 and 4 about Jedi in particular. Like, I think Rebels, I watched the first season, it's like, oh, this is a solid show. But at the same time, it bugs me that there's just Jedi lingering everywhere out there, you know? It's like,
Sure.
come on.
You don't want to know how they came up with the symbol for the Rebel Alliance?
I think I'm pretty good.
That was one of the things that Force Unleashed explained.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, that's fun.
That was just a clip from a larger show called The Game Informer Show. You can find it on iTunes, Google Play, or GameInformer.com. We take the fun opportunities and exclusive information from Game Informer magazine and boil it into a show that airs every Thursday with exclusive cover story information, developer interviews, a lot of fun stuff. So come love games with us.